And we're back. Real City Ambassadors, episode 4. And we're doing it with style. Today is an important day in so many different ways. But I'm ecstatic. I'm a fan. I'm grateful, after touching base and making sure that we can make this day a possibility. I'm just so happy, to have the play of the Bay, the guy with the brim hat on, the person who put Frisco on the map, the one and only Anthony Forté, aka Rappin Forté.
Right. What's going on? What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed and a little bit stressed, but I'm living, so I can't complain that
much. Right. Woke up on top of the soil. That's all that matters.
That is exactly all that matters, And I'm just happy to going through all the emotions, going through the experiences, and living, and learning from them.
Right.
And learning from you. Honestly, I'm 30 plus years old, but music raised me.
Right.
And I'm a son of immigrants, and so a lot of my upbringing and understanding of American and Bay Area culture came from people like yourself. So I just want to thank you for being here.
I appreciate that, man. Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, man.
Yours.
Word up. And let's start with the basics. Where are you from? Where are your family from?
Well, I'm from San Francisco, the Western Addition of San Francisco. After the projects that I stayed in, after they were broken down, I moved out to Hunters Point.
Okay. So you started your Western Addition. I'm showing people where it's at in case they don't know. And then you said after the projects were demolished, you moved to...
I moved to Hunters Point.
Right here.
Right.
So how many years did you live in the Western Addition? And then how many years did you end up living at Hunters Point?
Well, I stayed in the Western Addition basically all my life. I was back and forth in the Western Addition to Hunters Point at the age of I would say 16. We moved to Hunters Point. I really have never been a set trip or anything like that. I've always been the type of person that like to plant a seed and watch it blossom, spread the love, basically.
Yeah, and I want to show people just in case, because on that other map, it doesn't show the Fillmore, that's where you rep in a sense, because that's where your roots start
Most
from, right? So you remember the 22nd and the 24th?
I mean, the whole thing,
Yeah.
The whole thing. Represent the whole sucker free, really, basically.
Exactly.
But I was born and raised in Fillmore.
Yeah. What can you tell us about this photo right here? Speaking of the Fillmore.
James Brown right there. That's one of my idols right there. One of my influences in the rap.
When was the first time you saw James Brown?
First time I saw James Brown was at a concert that my mother sent me to. Yeah, at a theater called Circle Star Theater.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Was that in the Fillmore, or what area was that?
Oh, that was down the highway. That was more down the highway. It wasn't in the Fillmore.
Oh, really?
Took me down to snuck me up in the concert. Man, it was a big influence to me.
She snuck you into the concert?
Snuck me into the concert, the James Brown concert. Right.
No way. That's a cool mom, man.
Right. May she rest.
May she rest in peace. Speaking of, I can only assume that she was the first influence of yours.
Yes, my mom and my dad too as well.
And what other influences did you have growing up?
Langston Hughes. He was an influence of mine too as well. With his poetry, I start putting words together, and so I start coming with lyrics and rhymes. Langston Hughes.
And it was poetry that attracted you, or was there something about putting words together that kind of helped you form what you then became? Yes,
putting words together, and seeing groups like Run DMC and working at KPOO, a nonprofit organization in Western Addition radio station. The director allowed me to come in and put albums in alphabetical order. From there, I met individuals like I tell you, Russell Simmons, Run DMC, the Holy Ghost Boys, MC Hammer. Before he was MC Hammer, he was in a group called the Holy Ghost Boys, and me, myself, and a good friend of mine named Rockbox.
Mm.
Yo, we got together with a group called Rockbox and the Funky Fresh Crew. He would beatbox and I would rap, and
Yeah.
you know, it was
I have
good.
a question though. You said you were working at KPOO. How did that come to be?
Well, I would, while going to school at Benjamin Franklin Middle School, I used to pull my baritone home, and one day he saw me. He said,
Mm.
I've been seeing you go back and forth here, from school and home. And he said, I got a job for you.
Uh-huh.
I would like you come in and work and put the, records in alphabetical order. And, from that point on, I got to hearing all type of music. And, from there, it was just, it was a beautiful thing. It gave me
So
the influence to put the music together.
so you were musically inclined from the get-go, it sounds,
Yeah,
and that's where people started like noticing who you were. So you said at Benjamin Franklin Middle School, that's where you went, and
right.
then you went to this school right here.
Yeah,
Can you talk about how that influenced your process?
Eugene McAteer, School of the Performing Arts.
Mm.
I was in a band and a brass ensemble there. And we was in competition with a whole lot of different schools, and I was good. So that let me know when I started doing the music, putting the words together. I said, this is what I want to do. I want
And
to
then
do this.
and so music was there, and KPOO was there. What was the type of music that prior to like hip hop that you were listening to that influenced your upbringing?
Well, the stylistics,
Mm.
Marvin Gaye,
Mm.
uh, you name it. List goes on. I listen to a lot of Too Short as well too. Um, the Sugar Hill Gang, Houdini, groups like that. They really inspired me to really get off into the music.
Yeah. And then I remember like listening to another conversation and going back to KPOO. I want to add this photo right here real quick because you did drop some names, and I know that you were exposed to a lot of the up and coming artists at the time. So here, there's one with Run DMC. Did you ever meet Marcus, or did you work with him?
Yeah, Marcus. Yes, Marcus Clemens at KPOO.
Yeah.
Yes, work with him. He allowed us to come in and do interviews and etc. Boost us up, give us some exposure.
And what can you tell us about Marcus Clemens? Because I know he had a huge influence in the hip hop game, especially in the Bay.
Yeah, hands down to him. He's a good fella. Kept
Yeah.
doors opportunity wide open. I feel like if it wasn't for him and a few other individuals, I would have never made it in the rap game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Russell Simmons, you said you met Russell Simmons and a lot of these artists. Can you tell
Yeah,
me about just meeting them in general and what that meant to you?
well, it really motivated me seeing them come in, and I performed for them too as well, and they allowed me to come backstage to the concert. So
No way.
it was really big.
And then from there, a lot of things started to pop off. Here's a good example. You were part of the Dangerous Crew. Did you form
Right.
it, or how did it come to be?
What came to be is I met up at KPOO.
Mm.
Then I met up with a girl in my neighborhood. She told me that she knew a guy by the name of Too Short that was trying to put people on, and a guy by the name of Randy Austin, which was I'm sure its manager at the time. And we had a rap contest in Oakland on Myrtle Street, and it was at the end of the day, it was me, JJ Hard, Spice One, and the Danger Zone. The females you see here in the back of
Oh,
the
let me
house.
see. Hold on. Let me right here on the right. On the right here. Oh, I think you kind of froze right now, real quick. We're having a little technical difficulties, but we'll come back. I think everyone's waiting for that Niner kickoff, so we're all a little bit shaky over here. But we're gonna start back on where we started right here with the Dangerous Crew. I'm gonna have to bring him out, and then we'll bring him back in. But in the meantime, let's just kind of go back. Forté, he's from the Fillmore. I want to ask him a few questions about his influence with music, not only on the lyrical side, but also on the culture, because I know that he brings in a lot of the San Francisco Bay Area culture with him. And what does that culture look like? Did it look like for him, and how that manifested itself in his style, in his music? So we're gonna just see if we can bring him back on. Let's see. In the meantime, we'll just get it going this way. You know, I wasn't exposed to Rappin' Forté until 1994 when his hit single Playaz Club came to be. I don't know if people used to listen to him prior to that. That would be dope. If you have any comments or any questions about it that you'd like me to ask him, let me know as well. And we'll go ahead and make sure that that we can have him answer your questions right now. But as you can tell, right now we're going through technical difficulties. You know, as we take this time right now to think, to pause, to reminisce, you know, today I didn't even know. I didn't do it intentionally, but September 13th today. It's a special day, and we're going to talk about it. Hey, Forté.
Okay, yeah.
It's that Niners vibe, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
Everyone's waiting.
Right, exactly. Hold on just a minute. I'm trying
It's all good.
to get this thing.
I know. Trying to get this put together real quick. Do you hear me? Rappin' Forté. All right. We had him for a little minute. He said hi and then probably went to go check out what was happening. But I was going to say, today's September 13th. Not only is it the Niners kickoff game, but and you know, I want to ask Forté how he feels about it. Today is the anniversary of Tupac's death, his assassination, and obviously it had a huge impact in me. His lyrics, what he did for the culture, for, you know, people of color, of course, Black folks, but how that, you know, translated to Latinos. You know, September 13th is super important for me, and so I have a candle that I'm gonna light up for Pac. But we'll definitely get there when we get there. We're trying to bring Anthony Forté back up to see if we can just finish off our conversation about his early rapping projects and how he eventually became who he was, or who he is. I think it's also important to highlight, to get like a holistic view of a person. You know, it's easy to comment, it's easy to criticize someone, but you know, it's not until, and I always tell people, try to walk on my shoes, try to walk on that person's shoes, you know, to really feel, you know, what it's like to be a person, you know. And that same with Anthony Forté, same with Pac if he was alive. So I always challenge everyone, you know, try to do that, and then from there make an honest opinion. But not until you get onto those person's shoes you can really talk about someone. Let me see if I can bring Anthony Forté real quick.
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Forté.
Hey, excuse me, having technical difficulties here.
It's all gravy, man. You know how we keep it over here. We just smooth it, ride it out, and move on forward. So, Dangerous Crew was one of the first groups you started with?
Right.
Cool.
From the Dangerous Crew, I went on to do Don't Fight the Feelin, the album. I did the song Don't Fight the Feelin with Too Short, and that put me on a worldwide scale at that point. You know? Yeah.
And what was it? Did you ever take the time to sit back and realize, man, this is really happening? Like, when was it? What was the moment when you realized this is something I can do moving forward, you know, as a profession?
The moment I realized that is when I did my first tour. I did my first tour with a group entitled the GLP. We went down the coast and did shows and sometimes TBA, to be announced shows and for command performances, and always wanted to just put Frisco up on the map.
Yeah. Oh, Eric Escobar says you got to check the cables. We got to check the cables. Because right now it's Anthony Forté. I lost you again, my brother. I lost you. We got to bring you back up. There we go.
We're having trouble seeing it. I don't know why people just keep on having troubles, keep dropping.
It's all good. We'll pause and then move forward. We got about 15 minutes before kickoff, so let's see if we can get the cables running until then. Might be the Wi-Fi. Of course, it's always the Wi-Fi. So we're going to go ahead and then jump into the album, Don't Fight the Feelin. You know, this is where he really spearheaded and became who he is today. You know, I really want to talk to him about this album versus the Off Parole, because they're two really different themes that are highlighted. You know, the first one's the up and coming, really excited, moving and pushing and putting Frisco on the map. And then you hear Off Parole is a really insightful album that I went back to re-listen and realize that a lot of it is his struggles, living in surrounding that's you know, surrounded by drugs, surrounded by alcohol, by violence, and how he navigates that world. Because, you know, I'm not someone from the streets per se, or at all, but I was born and raised in the Mission in San Francisco, and the streets were surrounding me, you know, and we had to just learn how to navigate this whole time. Let's see if I can get a call real quick. We might just do this audio. Real quick.
We're having a bad connection here.
Let's just go ahead and do it audio then.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, man. So, you know, we were just talking about, you know, Don't Fight the Feelin, your album, and how it just spearheaded you and put you on another level. Can you tell me about that moment and how did you take that whole experience?
Well, basically, being from Frisco, a lot of people would criticize individuals. They would always criticize Frisco, label us as gays or what have with homosexuality. I feel like it's a free world, you know, and I always wanted to put Frisco on the map. So it made me feel good to finally reach the Billboard charts, San Francisco artist. And I felt like that was a way for me kicking doors open and leading the way for, you know, individuals to this very day who on the map. I feel like, you know, pay homage, you know, homage is due.
Yeah.
You know, I'm underrated at times and things as such, but it felt good to know San Francisco is finally on the map.
I'm showing them this photo right here of Fillmore Slim. And I want to know who he is, or I want people to know who he is also, so that, you know, you can elaborate on how his style kind of influenced yours and Frisco style.
Well, basically narrating Mackin. Peppin Mackin, you know, and he's a blues singer too as well, you know what I mean?
Yep, he's well known.
He's well known too as well. So, I mean, he always laced my boots about the game, you know what I'm saying? What corners to be in, what corners not to be in, and I want to give a shout out to Uncle Fillmore Slim for always being influenced.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's known as the West Coast godfather of the game and the Pope of Pimpin'. How did his style kind of influence you as a persona?
Well, basically him being a player, number one player in Pimp, you know what I mean? That made me want to go out and not do music about killing nobody or anything like that. Do some music everybody can have fun with put some macking with it, sprinkle it with some macking. You know what I mean? So that's what concept from.
Yeah, no, and can you tell us a little bit about? I'm showing this photo of Lil Fly, Franky J. Who are they to you, and Fly as well?
Well, I was one of the individuals who really kicked the doors open for me, introduced me to his brother, Franky J, who was, you know, a manager at the time. That's what I needed. I didn't have one. And basically held it down, kicked doors open, and sold music independently, all around, independently, put together Ragtop Productions. From that point on, did so much pushing and so much promoting that a major label was interested in us. You know, EMI Chris was from New York, so we dot I's and cross T's and put it together and took an independent track to a worldwide scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was this time.
What was that experience like, going into a big record label? What were some of the lessons learned, you know, from all of a sudden being on this huge platform?
Well, one of the many lessons learned is always dot your I's and cross your T's and read your fine print. Because no matter how many videos you want to do or how many shows and how many trips you want to take, and etc., at the end of the day, there's something called a recoupable balance. So all you up-and-coming artists, dot your I's and cross your T's and read your fine print. It'll look real good on screen and videos and etc., but man, when the bills is paid at the end of the day, it's a whole different experience.
So like budget, make sure you got your numbers straight.
Make sure you got your numbers straight. Make sure you got your legal game up to par.
So have that like that team of folks that know about the legal language, have the team that knows how to read the numbers. That would be something you would let people know.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Main thing, know what you're doing before you get off into it. You know what I mean?
I want to talk about the song, the Playaz Club, and I'm showing this photo of an SP12. You know, can you just recite maybe the first two or three bars from there?
I said I got a whole name real. She got a buddy named SP12. Now you know the deal. And the real is what people record on. Back in the days, that were recorded on the real. SP12 is like a drum machine. You know what I mean? So I basically put that concept together like, you know, music. It's like putting together like a gangster gumbo, a nice chemistry. Music, you feel me?
Yeah, and you know, I had to go back and listen to the lyrics and realize, okay, that's what he was talking about. Some people miss that those little details, you know, and that fine print.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I wanted to make people know that a lot of your music is very positive, and it's not, and it's not even just positive, but it's real. You know, you listen to Off Parole, you listen to the other albums, you know, that you put out, one in 2011, The Other Side, and what kind of life is that? You really highlight the ghetto. You highlight what it's like living through those moments. Can you tell me about why you focus on this aspect when, you know, a lot of the game was about X, Y, and Z and the glamour?
I feel like experience is the best teacher. I feel like if there's a message in the music, I learned that. If there's a message in the music, it goes further. You know, I've got numerous calls from individuals saying, thank you for writing the song I'll Be Around. Oh, that got me through a lot of hard times and etc. And that's why I wrote it. Another reason why I wrote it, because my grandmother, she said, baby, could you make a song that I can listen to? Where it ain't too much cussing and stuff. I guess I understand what you're doing, but could you mix it up more? Could you, you know, make it more versatile? Yeah, so I just started, you know, just coming from life experiences, because experience is the best teacher. And I stress that to any up-and-coming artist too as well. Make your package like a box of Jolly Ranchers, assorted flavors, something for everybody, especially what we're going through right now, the epidemic and etc. We school the youngsters, school the youth, you know, so they can stay educated, you feel me?
Yeah, and I want to end with, you know, I'm showing this image of you and Pac, and you know the the album that's just legendary, just like your song Playaz Club. But just tell me about that experience, just because you two had a deeper connection than just music and hip hop, right?
Right. Yeah, that was like my brother, man. Every time we could get together, we do our thing. Sometimes I would be locked up and Pocky would send shots out to me and et cetera, and tell people to write him and put, money on books. And I would do the same thing for him when he was locked up. And we finally were together. We were out at the same time. We put out, it was magical. Went down at Suge Knight Studio. We put the track together, Only God Can Judge Me. I told Pac I didn't want to speak on, East Coast, West Coast, beef or anything like that, because that's what was going on at the time. I just wanted to speak on something that would probably be, unite, something godly. He said, I got just the thing, bro. Pulled up the track, did the Only God Can Judge Me, and that was that, man.
And we're celebrating today his 24th. I don't know what to call it. Just day of his passing away. And his music has just influenced so many lives, including myself.
Right, and it'll last forever. It really will. And I want to give a shout out to the Shakur family, the Outlaws, and everybody in Park.
And same as yours. I wanted to bring you on because as I was saying before we went live, that there's my generation, there's an even younger generation that still listen to your music, and they wanted to know just, where is Rappin Forté? Who is he, as a whole, right? From the beginning till now. Can you tell us, after this pandemic kind of fizzles out, what you look forward to doing?
Yes, I started a mentorship program. That's what I want to do. Titled Only God Can Judge Me Mentorship Program. Helping the youth, schooling the youth about music, about life, basically, career development, and etc. A book, too, that I'm working on right now, too, as well, about my life story. And probably some more, greatest hits with some more bonus tracks. But basically planting the seed so it can blossom for the youth.
I hear you. And that's great. I'd love to have you back on again, when this is all over and we can talk about these upcoming projects that you have in mind. Anything else that you want to tell folks from the Bay, people from Frisco?
I just want to let everybody in the Bay know that I love you. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Mm-hmm. Stay focused on the up and coming. Rest in peace, Pop. And only God can judge me.
Amen. Thank you, Rappin Forté, for being on the show, on the podcast. And, this is the first of many. I appreciate your time, man. And I appreciate your music and your influence and what you've done to me.
I appreciate you, too, as well. You keep doing what you're doing, man. The world needs more individuals like yourself.
My brother. Take care and go Niners.
Go Niners.
Sure. Yee. Peace.
All right.
One love. All right, mi gente, there you have it. We had technical difficulties, but Rappin Forté still came through. We're going to have a follow-up to that conversation, but I hope you enjoyed it. Niners game is on. We got to carry on. So I'll see you later. Peace. Yay!